In this powerful message, inspired by the teachings of Joseph Murphy, we uncover a truth about wealth that many people overlook. Wealth is not created by luck, chance, or struggle alone. It begins within the mind. The thoughts you consistently plant in your subconscious determine the financial reality you experience in the outer world. Most people chase money without understanding the inner law that attracts it. When you finally understand this hidden truth, your mindset shifts, your beliefs change, and opportunities begin to appear in unexpected ways. This speech reveals the deeper principle behind lasting prosperity and how aligning your thoughts with abundance can transform your financial destiny. The subconscious law behind wealth is one of the most misunderstood principles in the world of success and prosperity. Many people believe that wealth is determined by circumstances, education, luck, or the opportunities that life provides. Yet the deeper truth is that wealth begins in the unseen world of the mind. Every condition you experience in life has its origin in thought, and the subconscious mind is the creative medium through which those thoughts become reality. Whether a person experiences abundance or struggle is often the direct result of the beliefs and mental images that have been impressed upon the subconscious over time. The subconscious mind functions as a powerful storehouse of beliefs, emotions, and repeated ideas. It does not argue, criticize, or question what you give it. Instead, it accepts what is repeatedly impressed upon it and works tirelessly to express those impressions in your life. If a person continually thinks of lack, limitation, and financial difficulty, those ideas sink deeply into the subconscious mind. Once accepted, the subconscious begins to guide actions, decisions, and even opportunities in ways that reflect those beliefs. The individual may not realize it, but the inner belief of scarcity quietly shapes the outer world. The law that governs the subconscious mind is simple yet profound. Whatever you consistently think, feel, and believe becomes the blueprint that the subconscious mind follows. The subconscious then organizes your perceptions, reactions, and behavior in alignment with that blueprint. This is why two people living in similar circumstances can have completely different financial outcomes. One person may see opportunity, possibility, and growth, while another sees risk, fear, and limitation. The difference lies not in the environment, but in the subconscious programming that each person carries within. Many individuals grow up absorbing beliefs about money without realizing it. Statements heard during childhood, such as money is hard to earn, rich people are greedy, or people like us never become wealthy, can quietly become embedded in the subconscious mind. These beliefs are rarely questioned because they are repeated so often and accepted so early in life. As the years pass, those ideas become internal truths that shape financial behavior. A person may consciously desire success while unconsciously resisting it because the subconscious mind holds conflicting beliefs about wealth. The subconscious mind always seeks harmony between inner belief and outer experience. If someone believes that wealth is difficult to achieve, the subconscious will guide them toward situations that confirm that belief. Opportunities may be ignored, risks may feel overwhelming, and success may appear temporary or undeserved. The subconscious does not judge whether a belief is positive or negative. It simply accepts what it has been given and expresses it faithfully. Understanding this principle is the beginning of gaining control over financial destiny. Thoughts repeated with emotion carry the greatest influence over the subconscious mind. When an idea is felt strongly and revisited frequently, it becomes deeply rooted in the subconscious. For example, When a person constantly worries about money, the emotional energy attached to that worry strengthens the belief of financial insecurity. The subconscious interprets that emotional focus as a command and works to reproduce similar experiences. In contrast, when thoughts of prosperity, gratitude, and abundance are repeated with genuine feeling, the subconscious gradually accepts those ideas as truth and begins to align life circumstances with them. This is why many successful individuals speak about the importance of mental imagery and belief. They understand that before wealth appears in the external world, it must first exist clearly in the internal world of the mind. The subconscious mind responds strongly to images and emotions. When a person consistently imagines themselves living in financial freedom, managing resources wisely, and experiencing prosperity, those images form a powerful pattern in the subconscious. Over time, that pattern begins influencing decisions, habits, and actions in ways that support wealth creation. The subconscious mind also influences intuition and perception. When prosperity becomes an accepted belief, the mind becomes more aware of possibilities that were previously unnoticed. Ideas, solutions, and opportunities seem to appear more frequently. In reality, these possibilities were always present, but the subconscious programming determines whether the mind recognizes them or overlooks them. A person whose subconscious expects success tends to notice opportunities aligned with that expectation, while someone conditioned to expect failure may dismiss the same opportunities without consideration. Another important aspect of the subconscious law is repetition. A single thought rarely changes the subconscious mind. Transformation occurs through consistent mental patterns repeated over time. Just as a seed requires nurturing before it grows into a plant, an idea must be planted and reinforced before it becomes a dominant belief. This is why affirmations, visualization, and focused thinking are often recommended practices for developing a prosperity mindset. When repeated regularly, these practices gradually reshape the beliefs stored within the subconscious mind. Faith plays a central role in this process. Faith is not blind belief, but a confident expectation that the ideas impressed upon the subconscious will eventually express themselves in reality. When a person plants thoughts of prosperity, yet constantly doubts them, the mixed signals weaken the subconscious impression. Doubt acts like a barrier that prevents the idea from becoming fully accepted. However, when belief and expectation accompany the thought of abundance, the subconscious accepts it more readily and begins to organize life in alignment with that belief. The subconscious mind is also deeply connected to habit formation. Many financial behaviors are not conscious decisions, but automatic habits developed over time. Spending patterns, saving tendencies, risk tolerance, and attitudes toward investment are often guided by subconscious conditioning. If someone has internalized the belief that money disappears quickly, they may unconsciously develop habits that confirm that belief. They might avoid saving, overlook financial planning, or make impulsive decisions. When the subconscious belief shifts towards stability and abundance, those habits begin to change naturally. Understanding the subconscious law behind wealth also reveals why self-image is so important. A person's financial results rarely exceed the level of wealth they believe they deserve. If someone subconsciously identifies as struggling or unworthy of prosperity, they may sabotage opportunities that could elevate their financial situation. This self-sabotage is rarely deliberate. It is simply the subconscious striving to maintain consistency between identity and experience. When the inner identity transforms into one that accepts prosperity as natural and deserved, behavior begins aligning with that identity. Gratitude is another powerful influence on the subconscious mind. When individuals regularly acknowledge and appreciate the resources and opportunities already present in their lives, they reinforce the idea that abundance exists. Gratitude shifts focus away from scarcity and towards sufficiency and growth. The subconscious interprets this focus as evidence that prosperity is real and attainable, strengthening beliefs that support wealth creation. Patience is essential when working with the subconscious law. Many people expect immediate results and become discouraged when change does not appear quickly. Yet the subconscious mind operates through gradual conditioning. Just as negative beliefs developed through years of repetition, positive beliefs require consistent reinforcement before they become dominant. The process is not about forcing results, but about gently and persistently planting new ideas until they become accepted truths within the subconscious. Consistency of thought is another crucial factor. If a person spends a few minutes each day thinking about prosperity, but the rest of the day dwelling on fear and limitation, the subconscious receives mixed instructions. The dominant emotional patterns will ultimately shape the subconscious belief. Therefore, developing awareness of everyday thoughts is important. Replacing habitual worry with constructive thinking gradually changes the subconscious environment in which beliefs grow. The subconscious law also explains why environment and association influence financial outcomes. The ideas and attitudes that surround a person daily often become internalized over time. Conversations about opportunity, growth, and creativity tend to stimulate similar beliefs within the subconscious. In contrast, constant exposure to negativity, criticism, or fear of failure reinforces limiting beliefs. The mind absorbs these influences quietly, shaping perceptions about what is possible or impossible. Creative imagination plays a significant role in activating the subconscious mind. When a person vividly imagines themselves achieving financial independence or building meaningful prosperity, the subconscious begins treating that image as a potential reality. The mind does not strongly distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real experiences. This is why visualization techniques can gradually influence confidence, motivation, and decision-making. Action is also guided by subconscious belief. When prosperity becomes a natural expectation, a person tends to act with greater confidence and persistence. They approach opportunities with optimism rather than hesitation. The subconscious belief of success encourages actions that move toward growth and expansion. On the other hand, a subconscious belief in failure often results in hesitation, procrastination, or avoidance, which naturally limits progress. One of the most liberating aspects of understanding the subconscious law is realizing that beliefs can be changed. The subconscious mind is not fixed or permanent. It continuously responds to new impressions and repeated ideas. When a person consciously chooses to plant thoughts of abundance, possibility, and financial wisdom, those ideas gradually replace older patterns of limitation. This transformation begins with awareness. Recognizing the thoughts and beliefs that dominate the mind allows a person to identify which ideas support prosperity and which undermine it. Once those patterns are observed, new beliefs can be intentionally introduced. Over time, repeated positive impressions become stronger than the old limitations stored within the subconscious. The process of reconditioning the subconscious mind requires persistence, emotional involvement, and faith in the creative power of thought. Each constructive idea planted in the subconscious becomes a seed capable of producing corresponding experiences in the external world. As these seeds grow stronger, they begin shaping perception, guiding decisions, and influencing the opportunities that appear throughout life. The subconscious law behind wealth ultimately reveals that prosperity is not merely a product of external conditions, but a reflection of internal belief systems. When the mind consistently entertains thoughts of possibility, creativity, and abundance, the subconscious accepts those ideas as truth and begins organizing life in harmony with them. The transformation may start invisibly within the depths of the mind, but its effects gradually become visible through changed habits, new opportunities, and expanding financial possibilities. Most people unknowingly block prosperity not because they lack ability or opportunity, but because of the invisible patterns of thought that operate quietly within the mind. These patterns develop gradually through years of repeated beliefs, experiences, and influences from the environment. Many individuals sincerely desire wealth and success, yet at the same time they carry hidden doubts and fears about money. These inner conflicts create resistance within the subconscious mind, and that resistance quietly interferes with the natural flow of prosperity. The mind has a powerful influence over how a person perceives opportunity. When someone believes that wealth is difficult to obtain, the mind becomes trained to notice evidence that supports that belief. Every financial challenge, unexpected expense, or temporary setback reinforces the idea that money is scarce. The individual begins to expect struggle as a normal part of life. This expectation shapes decisions, habits, and reactions in subtle ways that reinforce the same financial pattern again and again. Fear is one of the most common mental barriers that blocks prosperity. Fear of failure prevents many people from pursuing opportunities that could transform their financial situation. The subconscious mind often associates risk with danger, especially when past experiences have created emotional memories of loss or disappointment. As a result, the mind chooses safety over growth, even when growth requires only a small step outside the comfort zone. The individual may convince themselves that they are being cautious or practical, but beneath the surface, the true influence is fear quietly shaping behavior. Another hidden barrier to prosperity is the belief that wealth is reserved for certain types of people. Many individuals grow up with the impression that rich people are fundamentally different from them. They may believe that wealth belongs only to those who are born into privilege, possess extraordinary intelligence, or have access to unique opportunities. When this belief becomes embedded in the subconscious mind, it quietly limits what a person believes is possible for their own life. Even if opportunities appear, the mind may dismiss them because they do not match the individual's internal identity. The subconscious mind strives to maintain consistency between belief and experience. If a person identifies themselves as someone who struggles financially, their behavior often reflects that identity. They may hesitate to pursue growth, undervalue their skills, or settle for circumstances that reinforce their existing beliefs. This process is rarely conscious. The individual may genuinely desire change, yet the subconscious identity quietly influences decisions that maintain the familiar pattern. Another way people unknowingly block prosperity is through negative emotional associations with money. If someone has experienced conflict, stress, or guilt connected to financial matters, the subconscious mind may begin to associate wealth with emotional discomfort. For example, a person who has witnessed arguments about money during childhood may unconsciously link financial success with tension or responsibility. As a result, the mind may subtly resist situations that could lead to greater wealth because it associates them with unpleasant emotions. Envy and resentment also play a role in blocking prosperity. When a person reacts to the success of others with jealousy or criticism, they send a message to the subconscious mind that wealth is undesirable or unfair. The subconscious interprets these emotional reactions as instructions about what to avoid. If someone consistently feels resentment toward wealthy individuals, the subconscious may perceive prosperity as something negative and attempt to protect the individual from it. This creates an internal contradiction where the person consciously wants wealth, but subconsciously pushes it away. Limiting beliefs about personal ability can also become powerful obstacles. Many individuals underestimate their potential because they focus on past mistakes or failures. They may develop the belief that they are not skilled enough, intelligent enough, or capable enough to achieve financial success. These beliefs become self-fulfilling patterns because the mind tends to avoid situations that challenge the existing identity. When opportunities arise that require confidence or initiative, the subconscious may generate hesitation, doubt, or procrastination. The habit of focusing on lack is another significant barrier to prosperity. When individuals constantly think about bills, debts, and financial pressure, their attention becomes fixed on what is missing rather than what is possible. The mind begins to expect more problems because its attention is continually directed toward scarcity. This focus influences emotional states such as anxiety and frustration, which further strengthen the belief that financial stability is difficult to achieve. The subconscious mind responds strongly to repetition. If a person frequently says or thinks statements like, "I never have enough money," "everything is too expensive," or "money disappears quickly," those ideas gradually become accepted as facts within the subconscious. Once accepted, the mind begins to interpret experiences through the lens of those beliefs. Even neutral situations may be interpreted as evidence that the belief is true. Over time, this cycle reinforces the perception that financial struggle is unavoidable. Another way people block prosperity is by placing excessive importance on external circumstances. Many individuals believe that their financial situation is entirely determined by factors such as the economy, the job market, or the actions of others. While these factors do influence outcomes, focusing exclusively on them can create a sense of helplessness. When a person believes they have no control over their financial future, they are less likely to take initiative or explore creative solutions. The subconscious mind absorbs this sense of powerlessness and reinforces it through passive behavior. Perfectionism can also interfere with prosperity. Some individuals delay action because they believe conditions must be perfect before they can move forward. They may wait for the ideal opportunity, the perfect plan, or complete certainty before making decisions. The subconscious mind uses this search for perfection as a reason to remain in the comfort zone. Opportunities that require learning through experience may be ignored because they do not appear flawless from the beginning. Another subtle barrier is the habit of comparing oneself constantly to others. When people measure their progress only by what others have achieved, they often feel inadequate or discouraged. This emotional reaction weakens confidence and reduces motivation. The subconscious mind absorbs these feelings and reinforces the belief that success belongs to others rather than to the individual. Self-doubt plays a powerful role in blocking prosperity. Even when people possess the necessary skills and knowledge, they may question their ability to succeed. This doubt often arises from previous experiences where effort did not produce immediate results. The mind remembers those experiences and uses them as evidence that future efforts may also fail. As a result, the subconscious creates hesitation whenever new opportunities appear. Another important factor is the absence of a clear financial vision. When a person has no clear idea of the prosperity they wish to create, the mind lacks direction. The subconscious mind responds best to specific mental images and goals. Without a clear image of success, the mind may continue operating according to old patterns, simply because no new pattern has been clearly defined. Many individuals also block prosperity by believing that wealth requires constant struggle. They may think that financial success is always the result of exhausting labor, sacrifice, and hardship. While effort and dedication are important, this belief can create unnecessary resistance. The subconscious mind may interpret prosperity as something that demands suffering, and therefore it may resist the pursuit of wealth in order to avoid that perceived burden. Guilt can also prevent people from accepting prosperity. Some individuals feel uncomfortable with the idea of having more than others. They may worry that success will make them appear selfish or disconnected from those around them. These feelings create internal conflict whenever financial progress begins to occur. The subconscious mind may attempt to restore emotional balance by creating situations that reduce the individual's prosperity. Another common obstacle is the belief that success must happen quickly or not at all. When people expect immediate results, they often become discouraged when progress takes time. This impatience can lead to abandoning efforts that might have produced long-term prosperity. The subconscious mind absorbs the disappointment associated with slow progress and becomes less enthusiastic about future attempts. Negative self-talk reinforces many of these barriers. The words a person repeatedly speaks to themselves gradually become accepted as truth within the subconscious mind. When individuals frequently criticize their abilities, doubt their potential, or focus on past mistakes, they strengthen the belief that success is beyond their reach. Over time, these inner conversations shape emotional states and influence behavior in ways that maintain financial limitations. Another reason people unknowingly block prosperity is the lack of awareness about the influence of their thoughts. Many individuals never question the beliefs they inherited from their environment. They accept ideas about money simply because those ideas have been repeated throughout their lives. Without awareness, these beliefs remain unchallenged and continue shaping financial outcomes. Habits formed over years also contribute to this pattern. Spending habits, attitudes towards saving, and approaches to financial planning are often guided by subconscious conditioning. If someone has learned to treat money carelessly or to avoid financial responsibility, those habits may persist even when the individual desires improvement. Emotional reactions to temporary setbacks can also reinforce negative beliefs. When a financial difficulty occurs, some individuals interpret it as proof that prosperity is unattainable. Instead of viewing the experience as a temporary challenge or a learning opportunity, they allow it to strengthen their existing fears. The subconscious mind absorbs the emotional intensity of these reactions and stores them as evidence supporting the belief of scarcity. Many people also block prosperity by focusing excessively on what they cannot do rather than what they can do. This habit narrows the range of possibilities the mind considers. When attention is constantly directed toward limitations, the subconscious becomes conditioned to expect barriers instead of solutions. The mind is constantly absorbing impressions from conversations, media, and social influences. When individuals repeatedly encounter messages emphasizing economic hardship or financial fear, those ideas may gradually shape their beliefs. Without conscious effort to balance these influences with constructive perspectives, the subconscious mind may adopt a pessimistic view of prosperity. Over time, these patterns of fear, doubt, and limitation form a network of beliefs that quietly influence behavior. A person may work diligently and pursue opportunities, yet still experience difficulty achieving lasting prosperity because the subconscious mind continues operating according to old instructions. Recognizing these hidden mental barriers allows individuals to begin changing the patterns that have shaped their financial experiences. Belief has a profound influence on financial reality because the human mind constantly interprets the world through the lens of its deepest convictions. What a person believes about money, opportunity, and success becomes the invisible framework that shapes their actions, decisions, and expectations. The subconscious mind quietly works to express these beliefs in the outer world, turning inner convictions into visible circumstances. When a belief about prosperity becomes strong enough, it begins influencing how a person thinks, feels, and behaves in ways that gradually shape their financial experience. Every individual carries a set of financial beliefs that were formed over time. Some of these beliefs were learned from family, others from society, education, or personal experiences. These beliefs form a mental map that determines how a person views money and wealth. If someone believes that financial success is possible and attainable, their mind naturally begins looking for ways to move toward that reality. They become more attentive to opportunities, more confident in their abilities, and more willing to take constructive action. The belief itself becomes a guiding force that directs attention and energy toward prosperity. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between beliefs that are helpful and those that are limiting. It simply accepts repeated ideas and emotional convictions as instructions. Once a belief is deeply rooted in the subconscious, the mind begins organizing experiences around it. This process influences perception, behavior, and even the opportunities a person recognizes. When the belief in prosperity is strong, the mind tends to notice situations that align with growth and expansion. When the belief in limitation dominates, the mind becomes more sensitive to obstacles and risks. Belief also influences emotional states, which in turn affect financial decisions. Confidence, optimism, and enthusiasm often arise from strong positive beliefs about the future. These emotions encourage individuals to take initiative, pursue ideas, and remain persistent in the face of challenges. On the other hand, fear and doubt often emerge from beliefs that success is unlikely or unattainable. These emotions can cause hesitation, delay, or avoidance of opportunities that require courage or commitment. One of the most powerful ways belief shapes financial reality is through expectation. The mind naturally expects experiences that match its dominant beliefs. When a person expects success, they approach opportunities with a sense of possibility rather than fear. Their attitude influences how they communicate, negotiate, and respond to challenges. Others often respond positively to this confidence, creating circumstances that support growth. In contrast, when someone expects failure, their behavior may unintentionally reflect that expectation through hesitation, uncertainty, or lack of persistence. Belief also affects how individuals interpret events. Two people can experience the same situation and draw completely different conclusions depending on their beliefs. A financial setback may be seen by one person as temporary feedback that encourages improvement, while another person may interpret the same event as proof that success is impossible. The interpretation determines the emotional response and the actions that follow. Over time, these responses accumulate and shape the overall direction of a person's financial journey. The power of belief becomes especially visible in the area of self-image. Every individual has an internal picture of who they are and what they deserve in life. This self-image acts as a boundary that influences financial achievement. People rarely exceed the level of prosperity that matches their self-concept. If someone believes they are capable, resourceful, and worthy of success, they naturally move toward opportunities that reflect that identity. If their self-image is built on doubt or limitation, they may unconsciously restrict their progress. The subconscious mind continually works to maintain consistency between belief and experience. If a person begins achieving success that exceeds their self-image, the subconscious may create internal discomfort. This discomfort can lead to behaviors that reduce or limit the success in order to restore psychological balance. Changing financial reality, therefore, often requires changing the beliefs that define a person's identity. Belief also influences persistence. Financial success rarely occurs without challenges, learning, and gradual progress. Individuals who believe strongly in their ability to succeed are more likely to remain committed during difficult periods. They view obstacles as temporary steps in the learning process rather than as permanent barriers. Their belief provides the motivation to continue improving strategies and seeking solutions. Another important aspect of belief is the role it plays in shaping creativity. When the mind believes that prosperity is possible, it becomes more open to new ideas and innovative solutions. Creativity thrives in an environment of optimism and possibility. The subconscious mind begins connecting information in new ways, generating ideas that may lead to opportunities for financial growth. Belief also determines how a person responds to opportunities when they appear. Many opportunities require confidence and decisive action. If someone believes they are capable of success, they are more likely to recognize and act on those opportunities quickly. If doubt dominates their thinking, they may hesitate long enough for the opportunity to pass. The difference lies not in the opportunity itself, but in the belief that influences the response. Faith in one's potential is closely connected to belief. Faith encourages individuals to act even when the final outcome is not yet visible. It allows them to move forward based on trust in their abilities and the principles guiding their actions. This forward movement often creates momentum that leads to additional opportunities and experiences. Belief also shapes communication and relationships, which can influence financial reality. Confidence in one's value often leads to clearer communication, stronger negotiation, and the ability to form meaningful professional connections. When individuals believe in their skills and contributions, they express those qualities more naturally. Others respond to this authenticity and confidence, opening doors to collaboration and growth. Gratitude reinforces positive beliefs about prosperity. When people regularly appreciate the resources, skills, and opportunities already present in their lives, they strengthen the belief that abundance exists. Gratitude shifts attention toward progress and possibility rather than lack. This mental focus encourages the subconscious mind to continue recognizing opportunities that support growth. The environment surrounding a person can also strengthen or weaken beliefs. Conversations, social influences, and daily experiences continuously feed information into the mind. When individuals surround themselves with ideas, that encourage growth, learning, and creativity. Those ideas gradually reinforce constructive beliefs about prosperity. The subconscious absorbs these influences and integrates them into the internal belief system. Visualization is a powerful method for strengthening belief. When individuals imagine themselves achieving financial goals, managing resources wisely, and enjoying the benefits of prosperity, they create vivid mental impressions. The subconscious mind responds strongly to these images and begins treating them as potential realities. Repeated visualization can gradually replace old patterns of doubt with new patterns of confidence. Affirmations also contribute to reshaping belief. When positive statements about prosperity are repeated with sincerity and emotional engagement, they gradually become accepted by the subconscious mind. The repetition introduces new ideas that challenge older limiting beliefs. Over time, these constructive ideas become familiar and begin influencing thoughts and actions. Patience plays an important role in this transformation. Beliefs that have developed over many years cannot always change instantly. The subconscious mind responds best to consistent reinforcement over time. Each positive thought, constructive affirmation, and confident action contributes to strengthening the new belief pattern. Belief also influences the willingness to learn and adapt. Individuals who believe in their ability to grow financially are more open to acquiring new knowledge and developing skills. They see learning as an investment in their future rather than as a burden. This attitude encourages continuous improvement, which naturally increases the likelihood of financial progress. Another important element is responsibility. When people believe they have the power to influence their financial circumstances, they become more proactive in shaping their future. They take responsibility for decisions, habits, and strategies. This sense of responsibility creates a mindset of empowerment rather than dependence on external conditions. Belief also shapes the way individuals view time and progress. Some people expect immediate success and become discouraged when results take longer than anticipated. Others believe that consistent effort will eventually produce results. This second belief encourages patience and persistence, allowing long-term growth to unfold naturally. The mind gradually adapts to the beliefs it repeatedly entertains. As constructive beliefs about prosperity become stronger, the subconscious begins guiding behavior in ways that align with those beliefs. Decisions become more confident, actions more purposeful, and opportunities more visible. This transformation does not require extraordinary circumstances. It begins with simple changes in thought patterns and attitudes toward possibility. Each moment of confidence, gratitude, and belief contributes to reshaping the mental environment in which financial reality develops. Over time, the accumulated influence of belief becomes visible through new habits, improved decisions, and expanding opportunities. The individual begins to experience financial growth not as a distant dream, but as a natural extension of the beliefs that now guide their thoughts and actions.